Welcome back. We're almost out of time, but before we go, let's turn the floor over to you, our audience, and we'll start with Anthony.
Hello. I'm 82, so I was quite surprised to see a PSA where the CPP claims to have in excess of $1 trillion invested. So it seemed to me that there really wasn't any need to change the retirement age to go from 65 to, say, 70.
Mm-hmm. I think when the Harper government did it, it was back in 2012, and it wasn't for CPP, it was for OAS and GIS. And then in one of his first acts, Trudeau reversed it. But Bill, do you have any comments on this?
Well, we're all concerned that there be enough money to continue supporting all of us as we get into our older ages, but the actuaries that we were talking about earlier that look at these dollars and see what's proposed and what may happen in the future need to look more closely and find a way to make sure that the supports that are there, the money that are there, support the people who are now growing older. Obviously, like Anthony, and Anthony, it's nice to meet somebody only 2 years older than I am, that we're still active, we're happy, and we need to make sure the government is prepared to look after us in the way we need to be looked after at whatever age.
All right, thank you, Anthony. Welcome to the roundtable. What's your name?
Patrick, what I'd like to ask is, where do you get good advice? I've gotten advice, investment advice, from financial institutions that were basically selling their own product, and it cost me a lot. Where do you get good advice that's in your best interest?
So when you come back to me, as you know, I work for a bank, but I'm going to talk in general. Sometimes the best advice you can have is by talking to different individuals, meaning not relying on just one individual, but by shopping around to see someone who has been with someone for quite a while and they have your best interests at heart. And by having your best interests at heart doesn't mean it's going to exclude a certain firm or include a certain firm, but it's about talking to individuals, and you can never stop talking. And it could be talking to your neighbors. It could be sitting down with a financial planner and just hearing their philosophy, what products they use, and how they think about you and put you first in the conversation, not about the product. And I think a lot of the time, if they're putting you first, you'll see that the products in the background will be to your benefit.
I would also add is working with an advisor is a matter of chemistry, right? You don't have to work with the first advisor that you meet. Just like Rob said, talk to people, talk to your friends, talk to family, see who they like. Do a lot of reading, like Morningstar is really good. There's a lot of good financial advice. But what I would also add is when you finally sit down with somebody that you like, ask them questions. You don't understand something, ask them to explain it to you. You want to know what the fees are, ask them to explain it to you. And don't leave until you're satisfied you understand it.
It's true, and I mean, especially on mutual funds, the fees can be hidden, and it's often recommended for people to invest in. They're unaware of the fees.
Exactly, and the best advisors will always spend time to make sure that you understand all the details, what value you can expect in the relationship, and also those fees that Marissa was talking about. The other thing I would say is, when an advisor is in front of you, are they asking questions about you and what your goals are? That you want to work with someone like that who's very you-centered. And then you've probably heard that the financial services FSRA in Ontario was ruled that financial planners and advisors can't use the title unless they have a certain credential. So they're publishing now lists of those who are credentialed, so that gives you some peace of mind as well and some confidence in their capabilities.
Thank you. And we received a question over the weekend from Mark. Here's what he writes. I'm concerned about age discrimination against those who want to continue working after 65. Is your organization addressing that issue? Bill.
Well, certainly ageism is a concern to CARP. We see it increasing in many areas as there are tensions that are causing people to think very carefully about their attitudes. And ageism is something that we have to get rid of in this country if we're going to have workers that we need to work in industries and businesses. And CARP is fighting for that in every way that we can.
All right, and we'll have to leave it there. But before we go, let's go around the table and just get a couple final thoughts from each of you.
Well, thanks. You know, optimistically speaking, 9 in 10 Canadians we surveyed actually said that they want there to be opportunity to tap into the knowledge and experience of older adults throughout their later years. So, you know, I think that bodes well for combating any bias that we're seeing.
Bill.
Don't look at the age that you're thinking of stopping work as a time that you're going to stop thinking of as refocusing and doing the things that you've always wanted to do.
Monica.
Well, I agree with Bill on that one. I just think that people need to speak to financial planners. I'm so grateful I did, and it changed my life. I mean, I am completely, I have a completely different mental state about money. It was just always I lived with the wolf at my door. He was my pet. He's gone now, and I'm grateful. So thank you to financial planners.
And over to myself, I think the world around us is changing, and everyone sees it's changing. And how you're investing for your retirement is also changing. And it's really talking to that financial planner or financial advisor to get an understanding of how the investing world has changed. Because it's no longer just walking in, buying one thing and done. It's really understanding what your personal needs are, having a plan set in place, and then actually finding a way to achieve that plan. The world has evolved dramatically, and so too should be how you're investing for your retirement and drawing from it.
Everything that the table has said, but I will also add, talk to your friends, right? Because they have experiences you may not have had yet, but you also get really great insight.
All right, and we'll have to leave it there. A big thank you to my panel for your expertise and for being here, and all of our viewers for tuning in. Keep an eye out for our next show, and remember to get in touch. You can shoot us an email at comments@thezoomer.com. For now, it's time to zoom out.